morning. So great to be back with you this morning. Let's all come together and sing this song. When we are united and standing strong, there is nothing like the love we share with one another, no other there. We are one people, breathing one air, one human family that we all share. We are one spirit, come from one mind, one heart beating, one life. One heart beating, one life, yeah. One heart beating. See our brothers and sisters in everyone. No one's outside the circle, no us and them. Embrace our differences, see what we can learn from one another. With love we affirm. We are one people, breathing one air, one human family that we all share. We are one spirit, come from one mind, one heart beating, one life, yeah. One heart beating, one life, yeah. We are one people, breathing one air, one human family that we all share. We are one spirit, come from one mind, one heart beating, one life, yeah. One heart beating, one life. One heart beating, one life. One heart beating. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. How are you all doing? Let's give some more love to Gary Lynn Floyd in the house. I know, I'm so delighted to see that you're here, Gary. The last time I saw Gary live was at the Bodhi Spiritual Center many years ago in Chicago. So this is a nice treat for me today, and hopefully it's a treat for you too. And I am Reverend Russell Gear. I'm your friendly assistant minister, and I'm so glad to be with you today. If you are joining us for the first time, we want to extend a special welcome to you. And thank you to our live stream viewers as well. Wherever you are joining us from, please know that you are welcome here and you are very, very loved. And also, please keep in mind that you can find out what's going on here at the center outside of Sunday on our website, www.cslsr.org. And thank you, too, for honoring our safety requirements. It's because of you honoring these requirements that we are able to have a 9 a.m. and an 11 a.m. service. And just a friendly reminder, too, please be sure to keep your mask on at all times when you're in the building so that we can continue to have a safe place for all of us to be here in spirituality. Now, there are several ways that you can contribute your financial support to our center. You can give online on our website. You can send us a check, and there will be baskets at the exits on your way out today if you'd like to give in person. And however you choose to give, please know that we are a community-supported organization, and that means that we really, really appreciate your generosity because this is your center. You own it. We exist because of you. So we're so grateful for that. Now, at the Center for Spiritual Living Santa Rosa, we are motivated by a vision of a healthy, loving world. It is known as the Global Vision, and it calls us to imagine a world that works for everyone. We see a world in which every person lives in alignment with their highest spiritual principle, emphasizing unity with the divine and connection with one another. A world in which individually and collectively we are called to a higher state of consciousness and action. And we do this through spiritual practice that shows up as 5 pillars of our community. And the first is spiritual study. Ooh, we got our fun new slide there. Spiritual study, which expands our understanding through reading, learning, investigation, and honest self-reflection. We practice affirmative prayer, and you will hear an example of that from Reverend Sciotta in just a moment, where we use our power, the power of our word and our consciousness to creatively connect with the divine. We practice meditation in all of its forms, which increases our awareness of the divine within ourselves. And we practice spiritual circulation, which opens up our community to the flow of life through balanced giving, receiving, asking, forgiving, and gratitude. And finally, we practice selfless service. And I've got to give so much love to all of our volunteers that are here today who are practicing their selfless service, because this spiritual practice of serving others without expectation of reward or a specific result is a powerful pillar of our community. So I know that somewhere between the music, meditation, prayer, spiritual practices, and Dr. Edwards' message today is exactly what you need to experience for the next step of your spiritual unfoldment. You are welcome here. Please sit back and enjoy the service.
The circle of love is complete. For Spirit enfolds all of creation, all beings, all creatures in its embrace of love, unity, and oneness. And it is in this circle we make our home. We know its presence. We feel its power and peace. And for each of us, this is the truth of our being. Always we are one with the one. And so I claim the beauty of this morning, the message from our speaker, the time of sharing together, whether it be on Zoom, Facebook, YouTube, or right here in our sanctuary. I know that it brings new understanding, vibrancy, and wisdom so that easily we share these gifts with our world. I know that each of us, our center, our families, our community, are guided by divine intelligence. We walk in freedom and wholeness. And my heart is so deeply thankful for these gifts. I celebrate this truth. I release this word. And together we say, and so it is. Good morning. I'm Reverend Sciotta, your spiritual support minister. And won't you join me in reading today's affirmation? I consciously engage in divine community. I value and respect diversity. Unity is my guiding principle. Thank you.
When you're losing your way, when it's too much to take, when your will is broken, I'm here. I can be your shelter, be be your safe place to land. When your heart feels empty, I'm here. I have enough love for both of us. I know it's gonna be okay. I have enough love for both of us. Love always finds a way. Love always finds a way. When the future's unknown and your path's overgrown, I will cradle your soul. Don't fear. Though you don't have the answers, you may not know where to go. What you need is inside you. Just trust and you'll know. I have enough love for both of us. I know it's gonna be okay. I have enough love for both of us. Love always finds a way. Love always finds a way. I'm your light in the storm. I'm your call to come home. I'm your beacon of hope. You can count on me. You can count on me. I have enough love for both of us. I know it's gonna be okay. I have enough love for both of us. Love always finds a way. I have enough love for both of us. Know it's gonna be okay. Yeah. I have enough love for both of us. Love always finds a way. Love always finds a way. Love always finds a way. Love always finds a way.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gary Lynn Floyd and the gentlemen of the band. It's so beautiful watching them play together and watch each other for cues. It's just lovely. And so are you. Good morning. Hello, beautiful people of the Center for Spiritual Living Santa Rosa, and hello to everyone online. I'm watching you sign on and enjoying seeing names that I recognize and people from other states and cities, and feeling our community that is now both virtual and in person, as you heard Reverend Russ mention. It's October, and each month we have a new focus. Our focus for October is going further together. The idea is that we are, each one of us is, an individual with a creative mind. And the creative mind that we each have opens us up to a world of possibilities when we know that we have it and we learn how to use it. We are also at the same time communal beings. And when we come together, our creativity is multiplied, and we unlock a world of greater possibilities that we cannot accomplish alone. I've been learning about community because I've got a new puppy in my life, so I'm learning about the basic needs that dogs have. built into their biology, into their minds, into their spirits, are certain needs that, when met, contribute to the dog's being well-adjusted, happy, well. They have to play. They have to sniff. They have to explore. They have to run. They have to eat and drink. And they also have to have the feeling of belonging and safety in community. Similarly, there are built into our human biologies, into our minds, into our spirits, certain ways of being that we are endlessly drawn to because they are necessary to our wholeness. For example, to receive love, to give love, to belong, to connect. And we need each other to fulfill these, because we cannot do these things by ourselves. I had the honor of recently performing the wedding for Emily and Evan Dow Williamson. Evan is our facility manager, and you can greet him on the way out. And Emily and Evan, well, you know, with the pandemic, like so many people, had to postpone. And finally, we got to a point where we could safely have a wedding outdoors. And oh, it was so beautiful to be together for the wedding. And in the traditional marriage ceremony that we often have at our center, these words were said. Love makes burdens lighter, because now you divide them. Love makes the joy all the more intense, because now you share the joy. And love makes you stronger individually, so that you can reach out and become involved in the world in ways that perhaps you dared not risk alone. That's what we're talking about today. Today's message is about our togetherness, our interaction, our shared experience, and about how we can go further together than we can alone. Now, the people that we meet at the Center for Spiritual Living are a community that shares with each other, helps each other, explores together, learns together, inspires each other. And we meet each other through different ways. Online meditation on Saturday morning, and other times through our lunchtime learning series, through our Sunday evening conversations online, through our online classes, through our in-person services, through our Wednesday night live once a month events, through volunteering, through the prayers we say for each other, and through the prayers that we receive. However we participate, we are making community in which our needs can be met. And today we're also talking about the bigger picture of community beyond the people we meet. We're talking about the community of life, the divine community. We're talking about the connections and the relationships that we can't always see, that we don't know about, but that nevertheless connect us to each other and to everything, whether we live in the same neighborhood or not, whether we share the same religion or politics or not, whether we even meet each other on person or virtually at all. Still, something connects us. And when I become aware of that connection, when I become aware that I belong to a community of life, that I touch everything and everyone, that awareness can change the way that I show up in the world. When I understand that everything I do and say and think matters, I might choose more intention for good in what I do, say, and think. I may care more. I may connect more. I may even see my place in the universe with more reverence and respect. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, urges us with these words. Take your place then in the universe in which you live, having neither fear nor arrogance, but in the simplicity of faith come to believe that you are one with the creative genius back of this vast array of ceaseless motion, this original flow of life. You are as much a part of it as the sun, the earth, and the air. Oh, that sounds so good. Take your place in the community of the universe without fear, without arrogance, but still own it, own your place, even though you and I can't always see how our individual parts, the parts we play, are meaningful. Still, we're being urged to trust that our lives are as meaningful a part of creation as is the sun, as is the air we breathe, as is everything. And right there is the place I wish to pause for a moment, because this is the place where there is room for me to grow into this idea. I don't know about you, but sometimes I feel separate from life, disconnected, insignificant. In Thornton Wilder's Our Town, Emily is a young girl who has died, and she comes back to look at her life, and she asks, does anybody realize how wonderful life really is while they live it? We're going to be talking about that, because I don't mind sharing with you that I've struggled with that idea of significance and wonder. When I'm really in it, and things are really rough, not only do I think everything is not wonderful, I also can't see how what I'm going through is significant or connected or meaningful. And I have this feeling, it's almost like there is some grand secret to life that when I discover it, trumpets will blast, and I'll understand why and how everything is connected to everything else. And until then, I'm left with this sense of nervously wondering, what is it I am supposed to be doing, thinking, feeling, and what does it all mean? And if I can catch myself in that moment of disconnection and take a breath and let everything be just for a moment, I can ask a new question. If everything is connected, and there is only one life that we're all part of, wouldn't it mean that every little thing about my life, about your life, about our lives, is meaningful, is significant, even if I can't see it right now? I'm going to try to sense it, I tell myself. I'm going to try to notice the ways in which life connects to itself through me and through you and through everything. Let me tell you about the Brazil nut tree. It takes hundreds of years to grow into the majesty that it can, so that it can tower over the Amazon. And it has a strange community of creatures that have a relationship with it, and these creatures are essential to its success. Now, the Brazil nut tree doesn't produce fruit for the first 20 years. And when it does, the seed that it produces The seed that assures its continuance is encased in a sphere of coconut-like shell that is so tough that it takes a machete at high speeds to break it open. Who knew? Now imagine, if you will, a furry rodent, and there is one, the only one in all of creation, with teeth sharp enough to break into that nut's hard outer case. And it does. It breaks it open and begins to eat what is inside. But often it cannot eat everything in one sitting. So it has to bury it somewhere for a tasty midnight snack, maybe. But then in the morning, this rodent, she, I don't know, maybe finds a mate, maybe builds a nest, maybe soon she's raising, well, sometimes she forgets where she planted it. Where is that tasty leftover morsel? And although half-eaten and chewed up, that Brazil nut seed now has the chance to be exposed to the silent, moist earth, where it can hear the secret message of creation whispering into it, grow. And out of that tattered, chewed-up remains, it has a chance to germinate. The chance to one day take its place in the community of beings and tower over the Amazon. And 20 years later, it too will drop a tasty morsel in a shell too hard for almost any critter to get through. Now, I wonder if that little rodent understood the part she was playing. She's essential to the Brazil nut tree's survival. I wonder if she realized that she is part of a beautifully intricate and complex web of relationships. I'm guessing it doesn't much matter to her. I don't suppose she thinks her breakfast habits have much of an impact on creation. It may seem insignificant to her, but to the tree, to the tree, it means hundreds of years of possibility, hundreds of years of shelter, food, oxygen, hundreds of years of majesty, growth, and beauty. I don't always think of my life as part of an intricate web of interconnectivity, as part of a community of being, and maybe I ought to. Maybe I ought to see the small things in life as potentially changing the course of history. Maybe in those moments of choice, where choice is available to me to be kind or to not be kind, maybe in those moments you and I are shaping creation in ways that we cannot see. Maybe we're setting something in motion that will reach into the future hundreds of years beyond our time. Maybe that greeting, that smile with your eyes in the supermarket to the stranger matters. Maybe that act of charity to the person on the corner matters. Maybe that gesture to a neighbor who is struggling with isolation matters. Maybe that time you took to listen to a young person even when you didn't have time matters. Maybe that prayer you said for someone who didn't even know you were saying it for them matters. Maybe you matter in ways you cannot even imagine. So why don't I see my life in this way? Well, I forget sometimes, and I want to blame the movie industry. Because sometimes I can be misled by the movie industry culture of our society into thinking that I'm missing the mark because I'm not living that fairy tale life of the stars, you know, in which everyone is perfect and amazing. And everything is magically resolved just at the right time. And everything needs to be bigger and better and larger and amazing. And so it produces in me, you know, FOMO, fear of missing out. It's a pandemic of its own. And so when fear of missing out grabs me, I have to take a moment and breathe and come mindfully back to my life and be in it just the way that it is and just the way that it is not. You know, our teaching is that we are all part of the same holy experience called life, that we cannot be separated from it. We cannot be separated from the creative energy or the mind that creates. And as such, there can be no part of me, there can be no part of you that is insignificant. Not in an egotistical, selfish way, but in a way that recognizes and honors the interconnectedness of all things, that recognizes that we belong to each other. We're supposed to be here. We touch each other. Let me tell you about this bird in the Amazon. Just this one single bird. It's the only one that does this. You see, she's attracted to bright red berries, and when she sees one, she falls from a certain tree, the only one she sits in, and she snaps it up and swallows it. Funny thing though, the berry from the particular tree that she favors, that is so irresistible to her, is also indigestible. And as it passes into her digestive tract, all the acids there start to break down the seed. But not enough. She still can't absorb it. She only manages to break it down a little bit. Only a little bit of the bright red outside of that one tree is broken down. What we can't know and what the bird cannot know is that when the shell is broken down just enough by her digestive enzymes, that's what makes it possible for it to germinate when she takes it elsewhere. And there is no other way. There is no other way for the tree to survive except by this single, most futile act of swallowing an indigestible red berry. To the bird, it's just another day in the woods. Now, the story of the bird and the berry helps me, especially in those times when I wonder about what my role in life is. And I come up blank. When I think I should have a much grander purpose, but I don't know what it is. Or when I'm wrestling with something I'm trying to understand, wrestling all night with it. And if I can catch myself and pause and breathe and remember the bird and the berry, I say to myself softly, something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind, life is in my body, life is in my affairs. I think it, I feel it, I sense it. I accept it. Just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. And I admit I've found some comfort in admitting that sometimes I just don't understand the connections because I cannot see the long arc of time. And so I breathe again and gently bring my attention back to here and now, and to consider again that everything is significant, sacred, holy, connected. A couple of years ago, a young woman came into the office to visit with me, and she said, "You don't recognize me, but I used to attend many, many years ago. I used to come with my mother to the youth and family program here, and I've come here to talk to you. I want to tell you that when I went to the youth and family program and we were singing those stupid, happy, peppy songs, I just hated them." And this was in the days of audio cassettes, right? And she said, and my mother would pick up the audio cassette, and then she would play the happy, stupid, peppy songs in the car. And I had already suffered through them during the Sunday program, and I could not wait to be old enough so that I didn't have to go. And she said, and I moved away from Santa Rosa, and my life hit a bump in the road. And when things got pretty bad, and I was at the bottom of my experience, I found myself humming those songs. I remembered them, she said, like the ones, "We are one, I am you, you are me, we are one," or "Every little cell in my body is happy." She said, the lyrics came up into my mind and they helped me at a time when I needed an anchor. I guess at the time she was learning those songs, they were like those indigestible red berries. No sense to it whatsoever. And before she left, she said to me, and I am so grateful now that the center exists. And she said, and I realize that sometimes we don't know what we need while we are receiving it. Well, that's part of my challenge, you see, because I want to understand everything right away. I don't like waiting to find out what happens. Not in the book, not in the movie, not in life. I want to know what the payoff is before I invest. I want to know how everything works out. And the truth of the matter, though, is I've never known, ever. I mean, if I look back 30 years ago at who I used to be and what was important to me and what my aspirations and intentions and hopes and dreams were, if you ask that version of me way back then, where will you be in 2021? It would have been hard to see the connection and the pattern. It would have been difficult for me to imagine all the good times and all the bad times. And everything I had to learn when I didn't want to learn it. And all the connections and the impact and things that made sense later on. And now when I look back, I wish I could say to that Edward 30 years ago, something wonderful is happening through you right now. But you know how it is when you tell somebody that. We have to come to it on our own. Today, I have a growing confidence, though, that every indigestible, inedible, useless berry is part of a collaborative, cooperative, holy process called life. It's a beautiful mystery that I can either fight against or flow with. That rodent story helps me, because I've planted some pretty chewed up and half-eaten seeds in my life. Some were just ideas that I buried in the ground that I thought I'd pick up later and then didn't. Some of them were half-hearted attempts, to do this or that, get fit, get better, get kinder, get tidy, or whatever. Many of them I thought were just straight up a waste of time and energy. Some of them seemed, in retrospect, to be magnificent failures. Some of them I really thought would bear the fruit of success, and they didn't. Still, I have this growing sense today that nothing is a waste, that nothing is pointless. I accept that I may not see the arc of time. I accept that. I accept that I may not know how what I'm engaged in will contribute to the community of all beings, but I'm certain that without me, without you, without us, life cannot be. My intention and your intention matters, especially when those intentions are steeped in, are founded on the understanding of our unity with all life, with each other. Now, to help us remember this, to help us know our oneness, we have created a community prayer intention project for everyone to participate in if you would like to. You see, it's the time of the year when we ask our members and friends to declare their intention to support the center financially in 2022 so we can build our budget. So you'll be receiving, every person on our mailing list will be receiving a mailing. Some of you have already received it. And in it, there are a bunch of things, including a piece of paper like this, for you to write your prayerful intentions on, for your community, for yourself, for your world, for whomever. Also in the paper, you will find easy instructions for how to fold the paper into one of two things: a prayer ornament or a prayer knot. And mail it back to us. And then we will take all of them and install them in the entrance to our center as a visual reminder of our unity and shared commitment to living a loving spiritual life founded in unity. Now, if you don't want to fold the paper or you can't figure it out, you can just mail it back to us unfolded, and we will fold it for you. And if you are not on our mailing list, no worries. Starting on October 17th, we'll have copies of the mailing available for you to pick up in the social hall. Or if you are part of our virtual community, you can contact Linda Han, our COO, and she will put you on the mailing list so you can be part of the experiment. Now, in the weeks to come, you'll hear more about this. You'll see a video of appreciation from our staff to you that is just beautiful. You'll also see a PowerPoint presentation of the 12 nonprofit partners that we've selected from your nominations that we will partner with for the next 12 months. And you'll hear more information about the journal we have created for every single person. And it's a journal that you can use to follow along with every service topic through the year. Write your notes, write your intention and affirmations so that we stick together in developing the habit of being mindfully aware of the creative power of our minds in community. It's going to be a good year for spiritual community because we will be planting seeds together of hope and courage and togetherness. Now, I leave you with these words from our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, to lead us into our spiritual practice time. He says, I see that the future is bright with promise. It beckons me forward into more complete realization of my own place in the universe. And I look forward with great and pleasurable anticipation. With that in mind, I invite you to breathe in and to exhale, letting your eyes close as we join in a moment of prayer. There is only one life that unites all. It is everywhere present, and it is the only life. It is the energy of creation, the all in all. And I am part of it, as are we. From this recognition of my unity with all that is, I feel my kinship with life. And I realize that though I may not see the connection or understand the implication, that there is that within me that knows it, senses it, feels it. So I trust this sense in me of my kinship with all life. And I take my place in the community of beings as a conduit for compassion and creativity. And I decide by means of this prayer today to more mindfully consider that everything I do and say and think is creatively significant. With gratitude for this realization, then, I release this word of prayer into that aspect of life that we call the law, as a reminder to me that no effort is required. That having spoken this word, then I can relax and move forward. And together we say, and so it is. I invite you to take another breath in and to exhale. Without getting up, maybe just stretching around and looking at all the people whose lives are being impacted by you right now. It is time for our community announcements, for us to learn what's going on in our beautiful center. And so I invite back to the lectern our friendly assistant minister, Reverend Russ Laguerre.
Thank you, Dr. Edward. That was wonderful. And now I'm thinking about all of my indigestible seeds that I have planted over the years. All right, so I'm going to go a little bit off script from our announcements today, because I didn't write it down here. But we still have a ridiculous amount of class certificates that have not been picked up. These class certificates have been around since 2014, I believe. I'm looking at Linda Almeida, and she's nodding at me. They are sitting out there at our information table. So please be sure, like if you even think that you might have taken a class and maybe you forgot that you took one, have a look over there, because there are so many class certificates that are just wanting to find their new home with you. So please pick those up if you have, ever taken a class here really in the last, like 7-8 years. Okay. All right. Announcement time. Our Circles for Spiritual Connection are back. And it's such a wonderful thing to know, especially thinking about how we are all interrelated in community. These are our small groups that meet weekly via Zoom to discuss our Sunday message. And the focus of these groups is for us to build community and to deepen the embodiment of our spiritual nature. Each session is about 90 minutes long, and it's led by an experienced facilitator. And the new sessions are going to begin the week of October 10th, and they will go for 6 weeks with an option to continue if you'd like to continue. And we have both daytime and evening groups, so there's some flexibility there. And if you're looking for more information or how you can sign up, you can find out on our website. And I wanted to give a special shout out to our website too, and especially to Alan Yeager, who's our communications officer, who tirelessly is updating this website. I can't always announce everything here, but you can always find out everything that's going on in the center on the website. So I just wanted to give it a shout out because it is such a good resource to find out what is going on in our center, because there is a lot that is going on here. There are a lot of hopefully digestible seeds that we are planting here. So please check that out. We also have a new lunchtime learning topic in October. As Dr. Edward mentioned, one of our offerings here is lunchtime learning. And every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific time, you can join practitioners Lawrence Edwards, Lily Escovedo, and Krista McAtee in a discussion of the writings of Ernest Holmes collected in the book called Living Without Fear. That's a great title. Topics include growing from fear into freedom, freedom from fear is possible, and the power of right thinking. And there is no need for you to sign up. You can just simply drop in on the Zoom link, which is located on, you guessed it, our website. There are 3 new spiritual enrichment classes that are also beginning at the end of this month, so please stay tuned to these announcements in the days to come, as we'll have some videos, some other announcements about the specific classes, but you can check out our class schedule on the website as well to get some of the details. And finally, are you looking for a deeper connection with our center? Are you ready to give and to receive more? We would love to invite you to apply to serve on the center's board of trustees. We have a number of open positions as we regularly roll off our trustees. They have set terms. And if this is something that interests you, if you would like to step into what it might feel like to co-create this center with us, it's a powerful, powerful way to get connected to this community and for us, our community, to get connected with your genius. We are enriched by our trustees. They do amazing work, and we would like to add to that body. So if that feels like something that calls to you, you can find out at the information table. There's a sign-up sheet outside, and you can also, of course, find out on our website. There's a sign-up sheet there as well. So that is everything that I had for you today. Have a wonderful and lovely week. You are all beautiful.
Hello, I am Reverend Aikya Param, and I'm looking forward to coming to speak with you on the first Wednesday, and I'm going to be talking about the insights that I've gained working with prison outreach for the last just about 20 years now. The title of the talk is Can't Wait to Change, and I look forward to seeing you and hearing your comments and questions. Have a blessed day.
It is time for us to close our service, so I invite you to hear these words we used to say together. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind, life is in my body, and life is in my affairs. I think it, I feel it, and I accept it. Just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Know with me that you are never alone, that Spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within at any moment to know that you are guided, sustained, and inspired by a presence that expresses itself as you in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly so that in everything that we do and say and think, we honor this presence within. And so it is. Please enjoy the closing music, and we'll see you again soon.
Here's another one of those happy, peppy songs that I hope will come into your mind when you need it most. In the name of love, with a heart of grace, overflow in us and decorate this place. As it is below, so it is above. May we always stand in the name of love.
When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song, all as one, in the name of love. In the name of love, may we always be seeking out the best until we all are free, living in a world we've been dreaming of, where we stand as one in the name of love. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song, all as one, in the name of love. In the name of love, in the name of love, in the name of love, in the name of love. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song, all as one, in the name of love. When the veil is gone, there's only one of us, only one, in the name of love. When the day is done, we will sing this song, all as one, in the name of love. In the name of love, 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 in the name